Look at this ring of fire and this time of the Southern Crossing, this christening and merrymaking, and this pouring out of liquor, wine specifically, the blood of wine, for the mauling, so that one, in order to please, as an offering, to please the gods and what have you. A lot of these rituals of appeasing and pleasing the gods were built upon the forces of nature. So when we take it back to the beginnings and the origins of these primordial beings that got represented as devourous animals, zoo types such as the crocodile, the jackal, hippopotamus, and all of these other sorts of animal zoo types. When you look at this well and the El Nahar and the crossings, the judges and the killer whales, the gray whales, and their encompassing and their migrations of what takes place from the fall into the winter into the spring, of their patterns going up and down the Gadol, the Great Coast, the Gadol here in California. So when we look at this Gadol, this coal, and coal is the circle or hoop. Now, the significance of the circle or hoop in nighttime, we understand the looping, the layil, the nighttime. So night in Hebrew is layil. So you understand the looping or the in Hawaii and in these islands, because of their location and the laying of the layil, the layil, and the laying and preparing the dead, right? In this process of what takes place into the underworld and burying underground, when we understand Jonah and the whale being in this belly of three beasts, and this amount of time it takes to cross from 120 degrees west, which is the eastern border of the Pacific, 120 degrees to the other side, which is another 120 degrees, right? So this process of 3 days and 3 nights, and this being entrapped in the belly of the beast, in this mythology, and Hades, and the great fish, the whale. We understand the Ring of Fire and the depths and the seduction zone, and Lemuria, and the second continent, and this great Gadol. We can see here from the Earth's tectonic plates, from the time of Peleg when the Earth was was divided, and this mythology throughout the whole Earth was discussed. That this coast, this ending portion of the Gadol, where these great animals such as the, the whales, these large tanim, make their migrations up this course northward, is essential to understanding the winter southern crossings that takes place from these tropics, from the summer all the way into the winter, and these tropical crossings. So we understand these migration periods in the beginnings. These animals mapped out the origin of migration according to the alignment of the heavens. So this is why it's essential to understand this great Gadol coast and these migrations of the whales and how they affected the original cultures here in these lands. We understand that the coastal known culture here in California was built upon the distribution not only of whales for oil and other different things that would benefit from the whales, but the bones and other resources that came. We understand the shellfish and being here in exchange these resources. This is what they wanted to take away from these aboriginal people and create a system of commerce, of trade that is built upon coins and bullion in exchange of commerce, which is not how natural people traded in exchange. Time for community building and using that time to benefit the whole and not just the individual